members of the public to offer public comments directly to the board and superintendent on issues they believe are important to our schools. To maximize the opportunity for the number of people wishing to speak, this is not an interactive process. Board members do not interrupt, respond to, or engage with public commenters. Commenters acknowledge that public comment is not unrestricted. Commenters should be familiar with board policies and rules regarding public comment. They agree they will not raise individual personnel issues before the board or individual student issues. Commenters bear full responsibility for the comments made. They acknowledge the board members will not react, and they agree to follow the chairman's instructions when the chair is enforcing these agreements. The timer will begin immediately when the commenter arrives at the podium. Additionally, to ensure that the views of citizens are not obstructed during the meeting and for safety purposes, only one speaker will be allowed at the podium at a time, with the exception of a parent or guardian accompanying a minor. If you would like to show your support of a speaker, you are welcome to stand in place. I also want to remind everyone in the room that we must keep the center aisle clear. Do not stand in front of the stanchions, in the center aisle in front of the exit door, or in front of the side exit doors. No disruption to any part of our meeting will be allowed. If you wish to record any portion of someone's public comment or the meeting, you may record from your seat. The board appreciates all of our community members that choose to participate in the public comment section of the board meeting. We're ready, Ms. Wilcox.
Mr. Chair, our first speaker is Janie Moore, to be followed by Stephen Lang.
I want to address the numbers, tone, defensiveness, and selective transparency that continue to undermine trust in this district. The 122 buses deemed unsafe at the annual DPS inspection didn't become unsafe overnight. The defects developed while those buses were carrying children. Being proud of a 12% out of service rate and then saying no Cobb buses are unsafe is not reassuring. Our definitions of safe are clearly not the same. When Mr. Scamahorn asked what even makes a bus unsafe, per Georgia DPS, brakes, steering, exposed tire cords, emergency exits, fuel systems, electrical issues, stop arms, ABS, and lips. These are not cosmetic, and calling parents liars for citing public DPS data is unacceptable. Respect is not a one-way expectation. We saw the same pattern with the vapor wake discussion. Basic data wasn't available, yet the board was still expected to vote. And when Mr. Cristodoro asked Mr. Ragsdale to rate his confidence in his own proposal, that was theater, not oversight. Delivery matters too. At this level of leadership, skirting questions and umming and uhing through explanations like a first-time elementary school speaker is not reassuring. Parents expect and deserve clarity and confidence. Then a firearm was found in a school bathroom, and families were told there was never a threat. Someone else found that gun, not the owner. Adult bathroom or not, an unattended firearm is always a danger, especially in a school. Parents are not the problem. Questions are not the problem. The real problem is leadership that frames accountability as aggression and leans on agendas as a universal excuse.
Our next speaker is Stephen Lang, to be followed by Michael Garza.
I have some prepared remarks for tonight. Actually, I have them right with me right now, but I'm actually not going to say them. What I'm going to tell you is that by censoring, keeping public comment out of the public eye, you're engaging in the same type of behavior that happened in Nazi Germany. I actually know about this because one of the first things that they did to those who couldn't speak out and didn't have a voice. My father was one of them. He survived a concentration camp. He not only implicated those who were guilty of the heinous acts, but he defended those who were also falsely accused. When you snuff out free speech in a civilized society, you are engaging in an evil act. And I wish that you would reconsider your decision on this matter. Thank you.
Michael Garza, to be followed by Heather Tolly-Bauer.
When we heard this week that our board majority had taken illegal campaign contributions last cycle, it closed the loop on what we knew to be true, that our district leaders created a plan to divide our county on race to ensure they win their seats, directed millions in taxpayer funds to certain law firms to put that plan in place, and then were rewarded by contributions from those same firms to make certain they would win. Last month, a group of teens in student government were here to learn how our school board works. And I have to wonder how they felt being in the same room with people who don't want to give them a say in the leadership in their schools simply because of the color of their skin. This room in this building was just filled with people who have dedicated their lives to improving the educational experience of our children. And I wonder how they feel knowing that the people up there care less about education and more about remaining in power. And as someone who spends almost every day in my daughter's school, like thousands of volunteers who did the same in their schools, I wonder how they feel hearing our board chair say last month that he and his fellow board members only affect our kids' education once a month, 12 months a year, all while at the same time taking complete credit for their test scores, graduation rates, and achievements in the classroom. But in doing so, he's made the case that when we flip the board, and you know it is coming based on recent elections, that our kids will be fine, our educators will be fine. The difference is that our district will be run by people who are already doing the work, not monthly, not daily, to improve our schools. They will be focused on education, not elections. And our kids and educators will finally have the leadership they deserve. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Secretary Bauer, to be followed by Reed Bauer.
When the State Ethics Commission ruled that 3 of you took illegal campaign contributions from Freeman, Mathis, and Gary and shell organizations, we saw that. When 3 of you voted to award multi-million-dollar no-bid contracts and received illegal campaign contributions from the people who got those contracts, we saw that. When Chair Chastain excused Vice Chair Crisadora defrauding a client of $250,000, we saw that. When all 4 Republicans on this board became connected to either financial misconduct or campaign finance violations, we saw that. When a judge overturned the expulsion of an autistic student for warning friends about a school shooting threat, but you filed a motion to appeal anyway, proving you have no common sense or compassion, we saw that. When an adult can bring a gun into our schools, but you are protected by metal detectors, back checks, and a dozen officers, and when you ignore us while we speak, we see that. When you hire neighbors and family members, when you blatantly break open records law, when you call mechanics and concerned parents liars, when you vote to hide public comment from the public, when you say politics has no place in our schools, but everything you do up there is partisan. When you refuse to share information with each other so that members can make informed decisions, when you blame everyone else and never take responsibility, we see that. So when Rain Scamahorn says people are distorting the facts and marching to their own agenda, here's a fact. We are not distorting anything. Thousands of Cobb County families see it too. You can call it an agenda. We call it accountability. Trust me, we see you and we are still watching.
Our next speaker is Reed Bauer, to be followed by Monica Delaney.
Hello, my name is Reed Bauer. I'm a junior at the greatest high school in the world, a proud MC, a member of the prestigious Pro Globalization Academy, and a pro baseball player. As a 2-time Teammate of the Year award winner for the best baseball program in the state, I know what it takes to be part of a team that wins. It takes hard work, dedication, and a desire to improve and support one another. When I see the way our bus mechanics are treated, it bothers me. When I see the way my mother and people like her, who simply what is best for our communities, are being treated, it hurts. When I hear stories about teachers and staff members being scared to speak up about issues impacting them every day, it proves there is no desire from you to improve. When students come to you with their challenges and experiences, you ignore them. That is not being a good teammate. With all this in mind, I pose one question. How can we live by the slogan, one team, one goal, student success, if some of you don't even like your own teammates and refuse to support us and each other? If you're going to hold us to a high standard, you must expect us to hold you to the same standard. That is what true teamwork is built upon. As the book of Proverbs tells us, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Thank you.
To be followed by Andrew Cole.
Good evening, Monica Delaney, Riverside Community. I stand here as a proud parent and also a community stakeholder. I'm still standing because I'm true to this and not new to this. Even with all the ebbs and flows I'm going through right now. But you'll hear that testimony one day, we'll have 2 minutes. I'm here to speak about the housing crisis in the Riverside Mapleton community. We have been speaking about this for years. And on yesterday morning, I know if you watch the news like I do, from 5 o'clock in the morning till about 8 o'clock, the story was on rotation with Mayor Michael Owens talking about Riverside apartments and how the corporate landlords deliberately let them to deteriorate on our watch, okay? And we have parents that call me and say, Miss Monica, we have no heat. Miss Monica, there's mold in the house. Miss Monica, there's broken windows. And then our audacity for the owners to take over, all of the owners, for the file evictions on people the week of Thanksgiving. So then Ms. Monica had to go get an attorney for people because they had to go to court this week. And now they're talking about who's gonna be out, maybe out before Christmas. So not only the ones that get to stay, they're staying still in places where maintenance team is saying, okay, we're right now on the problem, but we're gonna report back. So what we need for the school board to do, because it's on our watch as well, we're gonna need you to address these corporate landlords doing business in Cobb County. And we're gonna need you to say, why are you allowing this? And we know they have more than parking on Riverside Parkway. Thank you. But we need to make sure you address that. And also, we have to address it because Johnny can't read if Johnny is reading more. Johnny cannot learn the new strategy of math if Johnny has some other issues going on. So what we need to do, we cannot allow families to be displaced. Families are begging for safe and decent places to call home. And believe us when I say this, that the state of our schools is the state of our community, and the state of our community is the state of our schools.
That's time.
Thank you very much.
Hello again, I'm Andrew Cole, Cobb grad, Cobb dad. Where to begin? Y'all have been busy. Let's start with buses and mechanics. How long does an investigation take? And no one can visit shops or meet with a crew until the investigation's done. Why? That would make it better to just never end the, oh, I get it. Help them. They've asked for almost a year. Please just listen and work with them. 'Tis the season. I know they broke rule number 1, don't go public, and you have to make an example of them to scare others into silence, but they're still around because they still need our help. Our buses are still breaking and our kids are at risk. How many jobs and lives is your ego worth? Be there for them like you have for others when you've appointed next door neighbors to head the transportation department, or when you boost the budget by $1 million and then have them hire a family member. And did you see the news? Remember how I publicized the ties between the hand-plucked law firm chosen by this Republican majority, who's now given them millions in tax dollars? Well, that firm donated right back to those Republicans and their campaigns and created more companies to avoid donation limits. And I saw you had to give it back, or what's left of it at least, and that's because you're all innocent. Our schools are great because of the people there every day and the teams that keep them going. But a certain majority blathers about and campaigns on a steady hand of leadership. Is this the work of steady hands, or is it sleight of hand to get tax dollars into campaigns? Despite resemblances, not even Scrooge or Mr. Potter would do that. 60,000 people vote in the post. Y'all win by 3,000 or 4,000 and use unethical tens of thousands of Cobb tax dollars to campaign. What's a vote worth? What's your dignity worth? Each of the accused, some doubly, should publish full explanations. Our county and our kids deserve honesty and transparency, and we all deserve better. Thank you.
That's what happened.
Okay, next on the agenda is